Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And that's your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi folks, welcome back. From the New York Post, an opinion. This sure looks like Biden's DOJ persecuting an opposition journalist. It sure does. I'm telling you, I am so disturbed by this. I really, really and truly am. I know the FBI and the deep state and dirty things that are done long before I was born, and I'm almost 65. I get it. But I have never seen so out in the open. It's amazing to me. It scares the hell out of me, frankly. Let me tell you a quick funny story I read somewhere concerning the FBI. Back in the 1970s, early 1970s, Ben Bradley was then the editor of the Washington Post, when it used to be a real newspaper. And Ben Bradley, years ago, before that, was a reporter, before he was the editor. And it leaked out of the White House that Lyndon Johnson was going to appoint, I forgot who it was, to head the FBI. So Ben Bradley, as a good reporter would, printed it. Lyndon Johnson got real PO'd. He was mad as hell. Called a press conference the next day and announced that J. Edgar Hoover would be the FBI director for life. And after that, he turned to one of the White House aides and said, "Tell Ben Bradley, F you." That's how things were done back then. I don't know what's going on with this now. Is this coming from the White House? Is this coming from the people that are the president, not Biden? Is this coming from some rogue people in the White House with some rogue people in the FBI? I really don't know. It's bad enough that they were getting raided. When I say they, I mean Project Veritas. The only way, now, but by the way, for whatever it's worth, department, for a journalist or a news organization to show something, say in this case, Ashley Biden's diary, say it was stolen, they still had the legal right to print what was in it. Unless they were part of the theft. If somebody steals it, gives it to a journalist, they can print it, the journalist is off the hook. But if they were part of the theft, and now there's criminal. They raided 2 reporters from Project Veritas. Within an hour and a half, the New York Times called both reporters and wanted to comment. It got leaked out. Is it the FBI leaking it? Is it somebody in justice, in the AG's office, in the FBI itself? I don't know. And then James O'Keefe, his personal residence, was raided, took 2 of his iPhones with tons of information, proprietary letters and emails to his lawyers, and the New York Times got it and put it in the paper. Now, James O'Keefe and Project Veritas are in the process of suing the New York Times. Now there's proprietary information in there, letters back and forth from James and the organization and their lawyers against the New York Times. That would be like if you're watching the Rittenhouse trial, that somebody got all the information from Rittenhouse lawyers, the defense lawyers, and sent it to the prosecution. All their notes, all their letters, all their emails. So it would be hell to pay. And then it gets leaked. This is crazy, folks. This is borderline Soviet Union stuff. This is what third world countries do. Now, is it just rogue? I don't know. Let's read on. I'm so disturbed by this, I couldn't stop talking about it. You don't have to be a fan of James O'Keefe's style of journalism to be worried about how the government is reacting to it. The FBI and Manhattan federal prosecutors are investigating the case of Ashley Biden's diary. The president's daughter says it was stolen in a burglary last year. An obscure right-wing website wound up publishing it, said our pages from about 10 days before the election. O'Keefe says someone shopped the diary to his Project Veritas organization. Clayton Biden had left it somewhere. His outfit didn't use it, in part because he couldn't verify it, and he says he informed law enforcement of the whole thing. But he has some ties to the outfit that did publish, which seems to be why the feds raided the homes of several current or former Veritas employees before dawn in O'Keefe's own case. I don't understand what has some ties mean. What the hell, went to lunch once? Somebody's brother-in-law? I don't know what that means, and they don't explain it, and that's what I don't like. It's, he's also outraged that the feds urged him not to go public with the subpoenas, but he did anyway, because I saw the letter. If you go to Project Veritas' YouTube page, you'll see all the videos there. Before I get too far in, they're going to need our help. Now, I gave the Project Veritas when their office got flooded a few months ago in Long Island. Remember, all those phones have the donor list, who gave money. This is a way to try to destroy them. Now, is the FBI or some people in Justice or DOJ or wherever, the AG's office, anything, are they scared to death? And they panicked and did this? I don't know. Are they going to try to frame Project Veritas and James O'Keefe, saying they were part of the diary being stolen? Were they set up originally last year when they were given the diary and they passed on because they couldn't confirm if it was real or not? And the feds got mad? Why would they wait a year before they would do this? There's a lot of unanswered questions. My gut tells me this. James was onto something really big with some whistleblowers and some inside informers. Maybe they're from Justice. Maybe they're from the FBI. Maybe they're from the White House. Who the hell knows? And the FBI wanted to shut it down. Or they knew their whistleblowers, couldn't find out who they were, so they used the excuse of the diary to say he was part of the theft to raid his home and two reporters to try to find out who the whistleblowers are. So he's probably working on a bunch of cases. He gets thousands and thousands of emails probably every week with people wanting to do the right thing. Maybe somebody in the FBI. Maybe somebody in Justice got a guilty conscience. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three. There's so much speculation with this. Journalists can't be prosecuted for publishing stolen material unless they are part of the theft. The question seems to rise to a federal crime. Yeah, I don't know. How can they possibly be part of the theft? They helped steal it, gave it to themselves, and then turned it back over to law enforcement? That doesn't make any sense. Was it maybe a rogue employee of Project Veritas? I don't know. I really don't. That got the diary? And shield laws normally mean law enforcement can't make reporters reveal a thing about their sources, even if they didn't publish anything. Journalists regularly publish material that has been leaked or even taken. Consider the times running President Trump's tax returns. Well, they're all original. I think it was back in the 70s, was it? The Pentagon Papers. That was a big deal when I was young. It was a Supreme Court case. You can look it up. Unless the feds know something about Veritas sanctioning the burglary, the diary does not warrant pre-dawn raids. It has all the marks of a political vendetta. And that's not at all a good look for a Biden Justice Department. Who gives a damn how it looks? Public opinion, yeah, it does matter if you're an elected official. The Justice Department already in ill repute for intimidating parents who just ask questions at school board meetings. How about people that were arrested for the January 6th riot? And here we are, mid-November, and there's people 22 hours a day, solitary confinement. Hasn't been charged, no trial date. We're coming up on a year in jail with no bail. There's been reports of beatings. I don't understand. Is the FBI so afraid of James O'Keefe and Project Veritas that they really have something on them? Did the Attorney General know and sanction it? He is the highest ranking law enforcement officer, Merrick Garland, and believe me, I take no joy in saying that. Was it Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI? Did he sanction it? Did somebody in the FBI that's below that chief sanction it with a few rogue? They can't say they did it secretly because it's out in the open. If they really and truly wanted to spy on James O'Keefe, they could have done it illegally. They could have gotten his phone. They could have planted bugs all over. They could have they trace people where they go, all kinds of stuff. Their records. But right now, it's probably tough to get a FISA warrant because all the lies they told when Trump was president. So the FISA courts are probably a little skittish. They want more evidence. I don't know. Who signed off on the warrant? Who signed off on the warrant for the raid? And what information was given to that person or persons to sign off? There's a lot of unanswered questions here. And I don't think James knows the answers. But he's pressing on. So again, I want to say, they're going to need money. Their legal defense is going to be incredibly expensive. Now, they are a 501c3, I believe, nonprofit. So your donations are tax deductible. Just go to projectveritas.com and you can donate. I'll leave a link in the description. This is very unnerving. This is how republics fall apart. And I'll say, John, how can a republic fall apart? It's just James O'Keefe. He's just a cocky young guy that got lucky. At worst, he's a menace to the society. And at best, he's what journalism used to be, and there's a whole bunch in between, depending on your point of view. But I know one thing for certain, they've never lost in court. The New York Times in cahoots with the FBI in the Justice Department? They go after a political enemy, and the enemy of the New York Times, that they're now in court? This is really, really, really bad. We ever going to get all the answers? Probably not. But I know James. He's about as subtle as a train wreck. He is not going to be quiet. So we're going to see what happens. Maybe they're going to try to say that Project Veritas stole the diary. Here's the thing, though. There's got to be copies all over the place. If some obscure conservative website published some things just before the election last year, even Trump didn't pick up on it. So it must have been garbage. I don't know. Are they that scared of what's in it? Are they that scared of James O'Keefe? Remember, the best disinfectant is sunlight. And I'm not going to say, well, John, how could you be so surprised? This has been going on for decades. Yeah, I know that. But it's never been this brazen. It's never been this much in your face. It's unbelievable to me when corporations and the media work at the behest of government. That is, by definition, fascism. When corporations and government merges, it's fascism, and that's not my opinion. That is a statement from Benito Mussolini, a fascist dictator in Italy in the late 30s and through World War II. He said that. Everybody thinks it couldn't happen here. but it always could happen. The Republic has always been one generation away from destruction. I don't know. As cynical as I am concerning Washington, I'm still shocked it's this brazen. Are they desperate? Trying to hide something? Are they just arrogant and they don't care anymore? I don't know. We're just going to have to keep an eye on this. So don't let this subject go off on the sidelines for you. Keep an eye on the media sources you trust and see how this goes. And James, of course, will keep us all updated. I'll leave a link to Project Veritas in the description. But I am so concerned. This is huge. I'm old enough to remember Watergate. And this makes Watergate look like nothing. Anyway, folks, enough of my ramblings, but this has bothered me so much I can't even tell you. We'll see. We'll see. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.